Today on The Bridge, we get to have our conversation at My Friend's Place in Kennewick, a homeless shelter for teens. We get to talk about the good, bad, and ugly, and also how we can help, as through the example of our very own Miss Tri-Cities. This is a great conversation with two dynamic women. We're excited. Join us. So welcome back to The Bridge podcast, where we celebrate nonprofits and community impact. Today we get to celebrate two organizations run by two awesome women who are using compassion, advocacy, and action to support vulnerable youth in the Tri-Cities community, while also inspiring each other. So let me introduce you. First of all, I'm excited to be here with Heather Shindehite. She has her PhD in psychology, specializing in child and adolescent development, and she has been the director of My Friend's Place for 11 years. 25 years of her career has been in social services. And she's awesome. I'm really excited for you to get to know her. We're also here with Julia Henry. I'm a big fan. She is just graduated recently from Brigham Young University in communications, and it will start her master's degree at BYU this fall. She also is 2026 Miss Tri-Cities and will be competing for Miss Washington this coming July. Has always been an advocate for volunteering in the community and has started her own nonprofit, which we will get to. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for you guys to hear the stories of these two women. But Heather, let's start with you.
Sure.
So you are the director of My Friend's Place. It's through Safe Harbor. This Correct. One is My Friend's Place. And I would love for you to tell us about your mission, your organization, anything you would like to share.
Okay, so Safe Harbor is the parent organization. There's quite a few programs run under the umbrella of Safe Harbor. Our program is My Friend's Place Homeless Teen Shelter. The shelter opened at the end of 2011 as an overnight shelter only. It was come in at 9 p.m., leave by 9 a.m., take your belongings with you. When I came in 2015, change needed to happen, right? It wasn't meeting the needs of the kids or the community. So I'm really proud to say today that we are a 24-hour establishment. We accept people in the doors 24 hours a day, regardless of the need, as long as they're between the ages of 13 to 21. And our mission is to hopefully one day end teen homelessness. But while we're working in that direction, we really are just wanting to protect these kids, keep them off the street, keep them out of harm's way, also thereby protecting the community, because kids who don't have food or places to sleep are sleeping in abandoned buildings, they're sleeping in parks, they're stealing food, right? When they're here and they have security and stability, they don't have that need. So it's kind of a win-win for the community as well.
So, sorry, that's actually news to me that before 2021, it was just sleep and then leave in the morning.
2011 to 2015.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already messed up the timing that you said.
Oh, yeah, no
but,
worries.
So what would they during the day? I guess you would cross fingers they would go to school, but...
Yes. So this is a real sore spot of contention with me, because I have had many conversations with the state, being the DCYF licensors who license the shelters.
What does DCYF?
DCYF, Department of Children, Youth and Families.
Awesome.
It used to be DSHS, CPS. They are all branches of DCYF.
Okay, I'm with you now. Thanks.
They license us. They don't fund us, but they control the licensing. And their requirements were not what the kids needed. And their requirement was that kids leave at 9 a.m. And I was told specifically I should not care where they go. And I was told that in another community, the kids just go hang out at the bus stations or the train stations. My mouth is hanging agape because...
Yeah, I was going to say, this is audio, but my eyebrows are up.
And my response was, well, I think we can do better. Right. And so it was a fight. And we kind of got lucky with the lawsuit against Washington State, mostly in their foster care system, where a group of children sued the state over their treatment, which I'm not going to speak on because I was no part of that. But during that, they did negotiated rulemaking. So they went in and got all of our input to change a lot of these WAC codes. And one of the ones that we got changed was there's no longer a time limit on when we can be open. So we can now be, with our licensors, permission now, 24 hours a day.
Awesome.
And that was huge for us, because even before that, they wanted the kids out of the building at 9 a.m. and not to let them back in until 5 p.m.
That's a long time.
It is. Even if the kids do go to school, they're out at 2 something.
Yeah.
What are they doing for those hours, and why shouldn't we care?
Right.
And so we have really built this program around the needs of these kids and the community, and what can we do for these kids. So at this time, the second they come into our care, we provide everything they need, from their basic needs to their emotional needs, school needs, sports, anything that they want to do. We will do our very best to make sure that we're able to make that happen.
And is there, I'm assuming there's not a time limit now for them to be there. What I'm thinking is like long-term time limit.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can help you get on your feet for 6 months, but then we need to have another plan. Like it's indefinite during those age brackets.
Correct. And just to be clear, it's not the goal for these kids to live with us until they age out at 21.
That's a great clarification.
Right?
Thank you.
We are constantly working with them. We have quite a few rules. So to live here, they do have to be in school. If they're not in school, we will sign them up to school. Our case manager checks on their school progress. We look at their grades. We know their attendance. We're not just sitting in the background hoping. If they miss school, they do get a consequence. So we don't just idly sit back and let life happen. I just completely lost my train of thought.
No. Awesome. You're doing awesome.
Yeah. Where was I going with that?
I don't know, but if
Oh,
you remember,
you enroll them in school if they're not already.
Yeah.
Yeah. The time limit. And so 21 isn't the goal. Once they turn 18, they have to get a job. And so case manager and my peer mentors, I should give them a shout out too. They do so much work. They help them with resumes, applications, take them to interviews, interview prep, interview clothing. We really push big on jobs in a happy, fun way. If they get their job, we take a picture, we post it on the wall. It's very exciting. Plus, they're learning about money management, and they're seeing how much it costs to live in today's society, which is another problem. They can't afford to move out. So we're really stuck in, they get a job, they're making money, they're excited.
Age makes sense now. It's a transition time.
Yeah, and it is a transition time. So when our kids, just about, I think it was 2 years ago, when we did 13 to 17, on their 18th birthday, they were out the door. State's rules. I would beg them for 3-month extension, 2-week extensions. They're in high school. No. Just no with an exclamation point.
Wow.
Yeah. And so now we changed ages to 16 to 20 so that they could actually transition into adulthood safely. They didn't have anywhere to go.
Really
Where
kind.
did they think they were going to go? And it always haunts me with their words, you shouldn't care.
Right.
But I do. That's why I'm in this field for as long as I've been in this field. And so if we can, a lot of times we've had them have roommates. Let's double up. Let's find friends to move in with. Some of our kids have been able to get the lowest price, apartment studios, things like that. But that's always the push. A lot of our kids have gone off to college. Maybe they're staying in dorms now, right?
Wow.
We've had huge success with that. And so the goal isn't just to come here and live. The goal is always friends, family, extended family. Where can we go? Where's a safe place? For those that absolutely have nothing, they do stay longer.
Mm-hmm. Will you help me better understand what's the difference between, actually I have 2 questions, and you can decide which ones you want to answer in what order, but one is, if the state doesn't help with funding, how do you get your funding? And then the second one is, oh no, now I lost it. I'll come back to that one. I bet it's a great question.
It'll come to
I'm
you.
just glad I'm not the only one.
No.
That's so funny.
We are both doing awesome. But earlier you said state doesn't help with your funding. So who does provide that funding? How does that work?
DCYF, who license us, they do not fund. Now,
I misunderstood.
Yeah,
Continue.
DCYF. For the shelter, we get a grant from Commerce, Department of Commerce. We write grants to apply. It's an ATS grant, so it is for therapeutic services. We're able to use that grant money for a lot of the therapeutic things that we do with our kids. Benton County, we have a small grant from Benton County, and then there is public cell safety tax in Kennewick, or maybe it's Benton County, that residents pay, and we get a portion of that as well. It's divided up between quite a few different nonprofits and other organizations that apply for that money. I'm not the big grant writer. That's our executive director, Sarah. And so she's the one that keeps the doors open. She writes those grants and she finds us the money. I just know where the money comes from. Awesome. Yeah. And fundraising. That's our biggest. We have 2 or 3 very large fundraisers. Our biggest one is the Beggars Banquet in November. And a lot of our funds come from the community and donations. You know, our pantry is stocked because of our community.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense to me that how necessary, like the grants will never cover everything that you need, because the more you talk, the more I'm like, this is a family. This is a home here. So it's everything they could need. It's toiletries, it's shampoo, it's clothes, it's anything that a mom and dad would need to provide for a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And in our kids' cases more. I mean, we've had kids who've come here and have never celebrated a birthday. They've never received a Christmas present. They don't get clothes to go back to school. They've never had a new pair of shoes. I mean, things like that just pull on your heartstrings, but we're able to provide that. It may not be the high-end brands, but it will be brand new, and it will be something that they have chosen for themselves. But we really do. Our program has gotten so big that we are providing driver's ed classes, getting driver's license for our kids. Our case manager makes sure that they've seen the doctor, the dentist, and the eye doctor. Prescriptions, she takes them to pick up all their medications. We do med management, so we make sure that's all safe and controlled. We have memberships at the Pacific Clinic for the kids that live here. Sports in school, we have outfitted kids to do tennis, to do football, baseball, and those are not cheap. So, you know, it's a lot.
You've actually got my mom heart tearing up, because it's all these developmental, just important thresholds these kids need to walk through to feel like they belong in their community.
And life skills. Really, all of our staff are wonderful, amazing people, and they spend the majority of their time mentoring and building life skills. Learning how to use a washer and dryer, learning how to use a dishwasher, properly wash dishes, learning how to make a hot dog. I had a boy come in who had never made a hot dog. Wow. It was the saddest thing. So I showed him how to microwave a hot dog real quick. And it was you know, oh my goodness. So in our program, we teach cooking classes. One of my staff, Heather Cavazos, is amazing. She has started doing groups. Every Wednesday night, she holds a groups for all of our kids that live here. We do, the only reason they aren't made to come is if they have a job, right? Her groups have focused on money management. They've had SART come in and talk about dating, you know, and safe dating. They go to trot and they get to help out with the horses and do things like that. We take them to the fair. They've had cooking classes, sewing classes. I mean, it goes on and on. Anything we can think of, these kids are involved in.
It's amazing all that you guys provide, because you really, really set these teens up for success. And they are just dealt such hard cards. And to see you guys providing like such an amazing like opportunities for them, it's incredible. And I loved seeing when we were taking a tour earlier, I loved seeing that wall with the pictures of them graduating or working jobs.
It was the happiest wall.
It was the happiest wall.
I loved it. I loved it.
The teen in his Burger King work attire.
Right.
That
because
was
we
so
do
cute.
celebrate that, right?
Yes,
it's amazing when they get a job. And it's so stressful for them when it doesn't happen. And, you know, a lot of our kids come in, they all come in with trauma. I mean, trauma-informed care is number one on our list for trainings and things like that.
If they are here, something traumatic happened.
Yes. They wouldn't be in a good headspace. They wouldn't be here, right? They would be at home in their safe, secure house. So they come in with trauma. They come in with mental health issues. Some have developmental issues. We've seen a lot of kids with autism. A lot of kids from the LGBTQ plus community that are literally kicked out of their homes. We've had kids come in that have turned 18 and the parents say, you're 18, you're grown, get out. Wow. This is 2026. There's nowhere to get out to. You can't just pop around the corner to the mom and pop shop and get a job waiting tables. The world doesn't work that way. There's background checks and, you know, there's credit checks sometimes and there's long application processes and it's not quick and easy. And even with a good job, these kids on their own can't afford rent. So it's really fortunate that we were able to extend the age to give them some more cushion. Our kids used to get so much anxiety. I'm going to turn 18 in 2 months. What am I going to do? And we really didn't have a good answer, you know? So that's all worked out very well.
Will you speak to the difference between my friends, when a child is in this age group, my friend's place versus going into the foster care system? Like what would determine which path the child would go through?
Yeah. So foster kids, state kids have been removed from the home by CPS investigators. Once that process happens, they are under their care. And so there are state homes, there are foster homes that they can put their kids into. We specifically don't take state kids because they already have a safety net, right? Not that I'm not saying that they have better treatment. I'm not saying anything like that, but they were saved, right? Our kids never fell into the CPS vision, right? They either didn't have cases or the cases were found to not be substantiated. And it's not always physical abuse, right? It's not always something you can see that the reasons these kids are here. So again, we're focusing on homeless kids. If they've been kicked out, they've probably been on the street for a day, a month, a week, 6 months. We've had kids come in who've been years on the street, years not in school, years not working, years living in tents or wherever they could find. And then they come to us and they honestly, they don't know how to even exist in the community. So one of our biggest goals is having them learn how to fit back in. So we also have them do volunteer work, right? Anything to get them back into the community to feel like they fit. Because when they come here, they don't feel like they fit into the community. Totally. They feel like they're completely segregated, right? They're the homeless kids. And we just won't stand for that.
How do they find you guys? Where do these teens come from, and how do they know that it exists?
Yeah, that's been a big problem. When I first started, nobody knew we were even here. So a lot of it is word of mouth. A lot of it is us going out in the community and doing events and speaking to different groups. We're at every single school and middle school handing out flyers. We have flyers where they can rip off the number so they can just call, giving presentations, school counselors talking about us to kids. So we get a lot of referrals from the high schools where they have recognized that they have a child going to school who's sleeping in their car or is just homeless. And we get a lot that way. We get a lot from juvie. Parents will call. It's not always just the child is homeless. Sometimes, and actually quite often, there is conflict in the home. That doesn't mean that they're not out of the home, but it's leading there. Parent and child cannot get along. We're not blaming either side. Sometimes it's the child, right? We're not all perfect as teenagers. In fact, teenagers are the hardest age group to deal with, right? And so sometimes parents just have serious conflict. We'll do cooling off periods. Have them spend a night here. Cool off. When you have calmer heads, let's come back together. That has worked so well. We have had a number of kids that'll show up just for a night or two. They're ready to go back home. Parents have cooled down. They can go on. And those kids don't come back, right? It was just a break. And so that works out really well. Sometimes they just show up at the door, so we're just trying to leave flyers everywhere. The more people that know about us and hear about us, spread the word. So it's been we went from maybe 50 drop-ins to over 700 in a year. Wow. And so, it's been crazy good. But we depend so much on our community to
wonderful and
continue
sad at
to
the same time.
Donate to us. It is.
It
is. And in today's economy, it's to be expected. Nobody can afford food. So the most marginalized members of our community are suffering the most. And so the teenagers, still we work within our age group, come to us for food. And we've had kids show up that'll, go in the pantry and make a bag of food and take it for the week. And they'll come back the next week, and it's heartbreaking.
Totally.
Well, Juliet, I actually want to bring you in on
Yes.
this. And we can talk about all sorts of things too. And I love that you're already jumping in, so please continue. But I know that you have a history of volunteering at My Friend's Place. And so can you speak to that? Like what you got the two of you hooked up a handful of years ago?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I got my associate's degree at Columbia Basin College. And so I did the Running Start program, and Heather was my psychology teacher. Yes. I don't even know if you remember. Like you have like hundreds of students.
So many years, but I never forgot you.
You're so sweet.
Do you still teach at CBC?
I'm an adjunct professor.
So on top of everything else, you're also a professor. I love it. Okay, I love knowing that. Everything just color changed for me. That was great. Okay, sorry, continue.
So that was, and I loved your psychology class. Like that, seriously, to this day, I think that's my favorite class I've ever taken. Psychology in general is just such an interesting topic.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by people, the way that we think, the way that we do things. Anyways, and so I loved your class. And then I remember you mentioning to our class that on the side you work at my friend's place and that you help house teens in the community who are homeless. And I was just so fascinated that in your free time, that's what you spend your time doing. And so anyways, I remember me and my cousin, we were in that class together. And this cousin of mine, we are like inseparable, like best friends. And I think we went up to you after one of your lectures and we asked you about it. And you were like, if you guys want to come in, you're totally welcome. And so I remember coming here for the first time and you gave us a tour. And I think I was a junior in high school. So it's like so funny all these years later, I'm like going to be pursuing my master's soon. I'm like, wow, I've known you for a long time now. Yes. So, but anyways, time is weird. Yeah, like it feels like just yesterday, but also, wow, a lot of time has passed. Anyways, so we came here, we took a tour, and I remember we were in that back pantry, and the first thing that we did was we went through donations and we were sorting things out, organizing things on the shelves. And then I think for a little while I was coming in on Fridays, and there were a few times when I was here where I got to know a couple of the teens that were here, and we had conversations, and it was just such an interesting thing for me as a high school student to see that there were other high school students living here and who weren't necessarily given some of the same opportunities that I had been given. And it struck something in my heart. I was like, wow, I want to help provide, like help give back to these teens some of the things that I've been blessed with. And anyways, it's interesting because, and it kind of makes me emotional because like I just have been so blessed in my life, and I see these teens and I'm like, they have so much worth, and they're so deserving to live successful lives and to, feel confident. And every person, regardless of what they've been through, I believe every person's beautiful, regardless of what they look like, what they've been through, the trauma they've experienced. And so anyways, all these years later, I decided that I wanted to run for Miss Tri-Cities. This is kind of jumping into a completely separate thing, but I'll come back to this. So growing up, I watched all of the Miss Tri-Cities pageants with my mom and my sisters. It was literally just a tradition for us. Every summer we'd go to the pageants, and I always looked up to the women on stage. I thought they were confident and poised and beautiful. And anyways, I always wanted to be Miss Tri-Cities, but in 2020, I was going to run, and I had already submit my application and all this stuff, but then the pageant was canceled because of COVID. And anyways, so I ended up running a few years after. But the thing that I loved about Miss Tri-Cities was the fact that every single contestant has the opportunity to come up with their own community service initiative. That's what we call it. And so as a title holder, I get to spread my community service initiative through my Miss Tri-Cities platform. And so it's the Miss Tri-Cities, the crown and the sash, it kind of gives you like a microphone or like a step into into the door in certain places so that I can spread something I'm passionate about. And so when I was coming up with my own community service initiative, I thought back to how I felt volunteering at my friend's place and just mingling with the teens. And something that I've always loved is like fashion and clothes and self-presentation. Like I'm naturally such a girly girl. And so
I love it.
I feel confident through a new outfit or through, I think it can reflect inner confidence when you show up and you have, you feel good on the outside too. And so anyways, as Miss Tri-Cities this year, I had a goal to help provide resources for underserved teens in the community so that they too could feel confident through their presentation. And
it matters.
It matters.
It matters stepping in a room.
Yeah. I think for me, I know when I feel beautiful, I show up better in my relationships and my work and my school. And so anyways, I started this nonprofit called Our Closet, where we just collect new and gently used clothing and give back to teens in the community. And so in November, I hosted my first pop-up teen closet event where I was able to have a lot of teens from my friend's place come and participate, which was so fun. But we we had a ton of clothing racks and clothing and shoes that were all donated from generous people in the community. And so these teens got to shop around for free clothes.
That was
and it was so special. It was incredible.
They loved it. They were
I
so
loved
excited.
it.
Yeah.
I was so happy that they came, and when I was finding the teens in the community to invite to this event, I stopped by my friend's place and met with the teens here, and I told them what was going on, and I was like, please come if you're interested, like totally show up, no strings attached, just come and grab a bag and fill it up with clothes, whatever you want. And anyway, so I had met these teens, and I got their numbers. This was a few weeks before the event. And so I felt like I was kind of building relationships with these teens. And then when they came in on the day of that event, it was so special to see them and to see the smiles on their faces. And it's just heartwarming. I feel like I've always had such a genuine love and concern for people. And so to do something meaningful with my platform as Miss Tri-Cities has made my year so special.
Do you know what I love about it too? As I'm sitting here, and Heather, you're telling the story of some of these kids coming, like what they're coming from. So to have Miss Tri-Cities come, build a relationship with them, give them the promise of a fun experience, and picking out something just for them, and then to follow through and deliver.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Like
Yes.
just to build trust in other people. I mean, I would assume so, Heather. Am I off on that?
No, 100%.
Oh, that's nice.
100%. And they loved it so, well, they loved it. We all love Julie.
That's
My
really
favorite
nice.
student ever.
Oh, thank you, Heather.
No, seriously.
Favorite professor. I'll take that. That's sweet.
I love knowing how you guys met. Sorry, go ahead. But yeah,
well, you know,
but
we've
just building trust in life.
They don't trust a lot of people.
Probably
it
rightly
takes
so.
a while for us to build trust with them. And once you break through, it is amazing. I've spent so many afternoons with different teens just coming in my office because I have the comfortable chairs, and then we're just talking about everything, you know, and you just break through, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But we've also had people that have made promises and then they don't follow through. And that chips right back away at it. Oh, I thought somebody was going to go take us fishing, or, you know, I thought we were
Right.
going to go get to ride a boat, or and so we really have to be careful when people, we knew Julia was going to come through for our kids. But,
Well, thank you.
We have to be careful with that because we don't
Definitely. want
want to have them start backsliding into the depression and into the mistrust of people.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how your background in psychology affects your view of the teens here and their situations and how you talk to
That's a
them.
great question, because you have to see things coming.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I know where this road is going to go, and I can't stop it. Am I wrong?
No, absolutely. Oh my goodness, the things we've seen over the years, things that you know the path that is being taken and you can't stop it.
Yeah.
Every
know,
mom listening right now is like, yep.
Yeah. But you know, there have been so many tears, you know, but me and my case manager have been together in this for 11 years. And we have had so many conversations where it's just so depressing. And you take it home, you know, even though we know better. But the second that one of our kids comes back 5 years later and tells us this was the best experience and how we changed their entire life, that makes it all worth it, you know, and that happens. And some of our kids leave, and we have kids today that come back and visit us from 10 years ago.
Wow.
Just to stop in because we were family. You know, we were like family. We don't try to be a parent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've raised my child, you know, but it's just the role that we feel that we need to take, and it's been so successful. I actually was homeless at 15. So I have the background. I had been couch surfing. I have been on the streets. You know, I don't really like to talk about myself in that aspect, but today I sit before you with a doctorate in psychology, right? And I'm running this program. And our executive director,
You're
Sarah,
the best professor she's ever had.
you know, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh, my colleagues are going to hate that.
I am not editing that out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. She always said, though, that she felt like this was, my whole career led me to this point. I guarantee I will retire from here. This will be my final mission in life. As big and broad as I can take it. Yeah. Especially the huge, what we've gone through for the past 3 years, licensing and opening a brand new center, our new Hope Center. We hope to be open in 2 weeks. I'm setting myself a very strict goal, but it's all coming together finally.
Amazing.
So we can house the younger kids. So literally going from 12 to 21, we're going to be there for that entire population of students.
Awesome. I love
So
that you brought that
amazing.
up. Will you help us better understand the difference between My Friend's Place and the Hope Center? What will that be?
So My Friend's Place is an overnight youth shelter, extended stay from ages 16 to 21. Our Hope Center by definition is a short-term stay to get homeless youth off the streets and into someplace safe and secure. So it is actually divided into 30, 60, and 90-day stays. It is not meant for long-term. It is meant for the child to come in, be safe and secure, for the parents to then have the opportunity to breathe, possibly. And we also will offer parenting classes for the parents, the classes with the teen, with the parent, and with the teen and parent together. Wow. Our whole goal is to reunify that family. If that's not going to work, then we will look for extended family, right? It's we're never stopping at that young age. There's got to be family somewhere, or a very close family friend, right? Somebody that can then step in and parent this child. At that age, because we used to do 13 to 17 here, they need a parent in the home. We did the best we could as staff and mentors and whatnot, but it's not the same. And so the kids that were coming up in the shelter at 13 and 14, it was hard. It was so hard for them. And so we really stand behind that. Those younger kids need a parent. They need an adult figure in their life, that can show them the way and can set those, stricter consequences and things like that, that we're just not able to do. And so that's really our goal next door. Short-term stays, but to get them into secure housing. Yeah. With if it's not with a parent, then it's with somebody who is safe and wants to parent that child.
Wow. I love the name Hope.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I love it. That's so great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
As you go around the community with Miss Tri-Cities and your platform and sharing, do you find that the community, like, I'm sitting here going, some of this I understand. I'm like, okay, I can see. And then you've said a few things that has surprised me. And do you find that in the community that maybe there's misconceptions about homeless or teens or the needs they have as you go about sharing your platform? It's kind of an out of the blue question.
Yeah. There's so many different nonprofits in the community that I didn't even know existed until I started my Miss Tri-Cities reign, and I've gotten more connected in the community, and I see all of these great charities with such important purposes, and I just think there's not a lot of awareness being spread about all of the different nonprofits and charities that exist. And so I think the biggest thing is that people just don't know what types of needs there really are, or what types of volunteer opportunities are available for them. I don't know. It's hard to know what really this type of thing entails until you're in it. And so for me, I'm passionate about getting youth connected with service opportunities, because I saw the change that happened in myself as I started to volunteer at My Friend's Place as a junior in high school. And you see the teens that are living here, and it's like, oh my gosh, we are all just normal people. We're all the same. Like, regardless of our differences, we are the same.
Because, like, let's say you're in your high school English class. You would have no idea that the kid next to you is having their life experience that they are having.
Right.
Actually, that was a question I was going to ask earlier. Not the one I forgot. That one's gone completely. No clue where that one went. But if a teen comes in and they're going to a specific high school somewhere in Tri-Cities, do they get to stay going to that high school? They don't have to switch high schools on top of everything else?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Is it
a
ever
state
tricky
law.
to get them to class with, like, transportation?
So,
or how does that work?
Our kids have gone as far as Hanford, all the way to right here to Kamiakin. Every school in Tri-Cities we've had kids from. And the bus is wonderful. The transit takes them to any school in Tri-Cities.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And if they miss the bus, staff will transport them.
Yeah.
We make sure they get to school.
I love it.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I love it. Julia, I might have interrupted you at the end there. Did I
Oh,
do that
no.
or not?
No.
Awesome.
You are totally good.
No, this is so great. I keep thinking about something, Heather, that you said a handful of minutes ago that I think you said it off the cuff, but I've just been pondering on it now, that you said that the teens will come into your office because you have the comfy chairs.
Yeah.
Love
so
that.
first of all, totally respect that. Like, I'm a big fan. But I'm like, what a great metaphor for it, though, right? Yeah. Because you're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, comfy chairs are safe. I love that.
Yeah, it really does feel safe here.
Oh, there's a great feeling
Yeah.
in my friend's place. I totally agree.
And it's nice to just have people who are older than you who can feel like a mentor or just offer, advice. And especially people like the fact that you've gone through hard things as a 15-year-old and you can kind of see things from their point of view too. It's like that makes such a difference for the teens here because they know that they can talk to you and you're a comforting presence and you're approachable, and it makes such a difference when you have those types of mentors close. And the fact that you make yourself available here and the other staff members are incredible, and that does so much for them to even just know. Like maybe they don't come up to you, maybe the teens don't come up to you guys all the time, but like just for them to know that you're here and that you genuinely care, that it makes such a difference.
I agree. We never shut our doors. No matter what we're doing, if a teen approaches, everything is set down because they're more important.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I told you with the teens coming back, you think, I just don't feel like I ever made a breakthrough with them,
Yeah.
But they'll come back and be like, oh, it was the best thing,
Right.
And that's so heartwarming.
Yeah.
Most people think, when they think homeless and homeless teens, they're thinking of regular shelters. And so unless they come in and actually enjoy what we have to offer, it's not, just beds on the floor lined up. It's private bedrooms, private bathrooms. It's their own space to be their own person. I just love it. I think it's wonderful.
Does it ever surprise them the difference of the atmosphere of this versus what they were used to at home if they left their home because it was an emotionally charged place, or I don't know how to word it. Do you understand what I'm trying to ask? I'm off the cuff and I'm not wording it well.
Yes, in that when there's trauma at home, they're in flight or fight constantly. They can finally relax. You can see the stress leave them. Usually takes a couple days. The first night, we leave them alone. Like, let's get you some food and you can just go relax. We're not going to bother you with anything. Come out if you need us. And they get that time to just breathe. And, sometimes that's more than some of us get, right? It's something they really need, especially if the trauma at home, and like I said, it doesn't have to be physical abuse, but sometimes it can be neglect, maybe there's a ton of people living in the house. Sometimes we've gotten kids where there's just not room for them. And so, that's heartbreaking as well, because how do you pick who there's not room for?
Right.
Well, it's the oldest teen, and so those are the ones that come here. And I'm grateful that we can be here for them. And, that family doesn't really get separated. Yes, they're not sleeping in the same place, but the family can come pick them up every day. They still spend a lot of time together. Those are the ones that usually get to go back home. The family just needs help getting housing. And we'll give referrals out to the parents as well. Here's where you can go to try to get some help. Unfortunately, that's not the majority of our kids. The majority of our kids have left embattled homes, embattled. I'm pointing because one of my long-term girls just came in with her 2-year-old daughter. She comes back to visit us all the time.
That's so sweet. What
love
an
her
awesome
to death.
In the moment success
in the
story.
moment,
Oh
there
my
she
gosh.
is. Yeah,
I love it.
That's what I love.
Beautiful.
She's back. They bring their babies in. They tell us they're getting married. College aspirations, new jobs. One of my girls came back. She had got a job at a bank, came in with the group to do volunteer work for us. And, it's like you are just the sweetest people. And yes, people have this idea that if you say homeless, they're immediately, ew, And homelessness is such a big topic, a hot topic across the United States, especially in Washington.
Lots of frustrated emotions attached to it. Yeah.
And, yes, we also see the amount of homeless adults and homeless adults on drugs, and we know there's a big issue, but that's not what we're doing here. We are trying our best to prevent that. If these kids didn't have this place to come to, where do we think they'd end up in the next few years?
Wow.
Yeah. Drugs, trafficking. You know, there's a lot of people that believe that all homeless teens steal and sell their bodies for money and food. And that does happen, absolutely. Because when you're starving, you will use whatever means you have.
That's the only currency you have.
But it's also not everyone. You know, we've had kids living in their cars or staying in unsuitable places that go to school every single day, that get a job and still manage to make it to their job without any structure, without any place to go. And, you know, so we see all walks of life. We should never just sit in judgment on the word homelessness because we don't know why.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, that doesn't even make sense. How can you have homeless teens? It's really quite easy, sir. They are kicked out or they have to leave an uncomfortable, uninviting situation.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that clarification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julia, what would you say to teens, not at my friend's place necessarily, but that are looking for direction in their life or looking for purpose, or how would you speak to them with your experience with volunteering and helping the vulnerable in the community, or also just I loved what you said earlier about building a relationship with them, because that's what it all is, isn't it?
Yep.
Like nobody wants to be pitied. No, none of your youth here want to be pitied.
Right.
But they want to belong and they want to have a relationship. So what would you say to a teen? Probably things that you do say to them as Miss Tri-Cities. Yeah. Give me your spiel.
Okay. Well, my community service initiative, we all have like a little slang, or whatever slogan. Mine is the power of one, everyone can make a difference. And
I love that.
So when I go around to schools and different clubs and talk about my service initiative, it's all about the fact that every single person, regardless of your experiences, your perspectives, your personalities, like you already have, as you are right now in this moment, you have what it takes to make a difference. And I just love that reminder because like we're all so different. We all have we bring such different things to the table, but like making a difference doesn't have to be some huge dramatic, you know, it doesn't have to be starting a nonprofit. It can be as simple as like taking something that you're naturally good at, which maybe is just like being positive or smiling at people, and just making that your goal to do that more often, or like just finding something that you can do with your personality or your interests to help out another person. And so I've partnered with JustServe this year because JustServe makes it so easy to connect youth with these volunteer opportunities. Literally all you do, I don't know if you've ever been on JustServe, but basically you just type in justserve.org and it'll pull up this little search bar where you can put in first you put in your zip code, and then you put in just one word in the search bar. It can be anything, and it'll pull up all the different volunteer opportunities close to you that have to do with that keyword. And so like if you type in, like say you're someone that is really good at music and you really enjoy like playing guitar or singing, you can type in music on justserve.org and it'll pull up opportunities that are close to you that maybe have to do with music, like singing at a nursing home for the elderly, the senior citizens, or
amazing.
or you can type in, if you love food or cooking, type in food and it'll pull up like Second Harvest, or you know, sort through food here, or clothing. Whenever I have extra clothing to donate from donations that I've received for our closet, I go on JustServe and I'm like clothing, and it'll bring up like Union Gospel Mission is in need of this, or CBC is doing a clothing drive for veteran. They need men's professional work attire. And so like there are opportunities available, and JustServe connects you with those different opportunities, which is incredible. And so I would just say for teens looking to fill their lives with more meaning and purpose, I would say look inward, look at what your interests are, your talents, your personality traits, you know, like chase what you're good at. And
I like that. Chase
what you're good at.
I love that.
And then you can find an opportunity to help another person through just doing what you're already good at or what you already enjoy.
That's amazing.
The older I get, the more I think I'm just barely starting to understand that everybody belongs. Like everybody is valuable and belongs. And there's a place for everybody to thrive in their way. Mm-hmm. And Thanks for the JustServe plug. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
JustServe is awesome.
It is
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, I know my friend's place is on there quite often
Yes.
as well. And that will continue as well. Heather.
Yes.
What do you wish? What do you wish that the community either knew better or could connect and help with you? Or like, what if you could magically make something happen? What do you wish? What do you wish could happen for my friend's place?
Goodness.
And Hope House too.
That's such a good question.
Or you can even start with the question, what worries you?
What worries me?
Yeah, because they're sort of polar opposite questions, but one answers the other.
My biggest hope is that the concept, the need of homelessness, that someone somehow finds a way to just fix it, and it's not by putting millions of dollars into a fund to create a group to sit around a table and discuss it, like hands on, feet on the ground, looking for answers. I know people always talk about
And we're back to relationships. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
and even things like affordable housing, but then they go and build all these unaffordable housing, and you're just like, well, what is going on? Who can afford these things? Affordability is huge. But yeah, the whole concept of not having a home is horrible. And it's the lowest thing you can possibly feel, when you don't have anyone, anything, and you're just by yourself. And people just need to have more empathy for that and really understanding. They're not going to...
Do you find that when you get to that point, the why doesn't matter? We're here now. Do you find that?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you. I apologize.
I know. Once I lose my train of thought, it's like,
I know.
lose that answer.
That was super rude of me. Sorry.
No, not at all. But it's just, people also say, well, we don't see the homeless teens. We don't know what you're talking. You're not going to see homeless teens. They're not going to stand on a street corner with a cardboard sign and a marker. They're not going to do that. They hide. They're in school, or they're places where they shouldn't actually be, or places where they blend in. You're not going to know. They look just like Julia. They look just like everybody, just like we all look.
Right.
They're just humans. They're just kids who don't have a home. And I knew there's a new term with housing insecure or houseless, but when you're a teenager, you're homeless. Because if there's no parent, there's no siblings, there's no family pets, right? You've lost your home. And that's really what we try to do here, is to kind of be that second home, right? A place they can call home. And so, that's really the thing, hoping that it sticks around after I'm gone, hoping that it continues to grow. Finding an answer is probably too big of an ask because there's so many reasons people are homeless. But when it comes to our kids, once again, I just think we can do better. Yeah.
How can the community connect with you to see how we can help?
We're on Facebook. You can come to the shelter. I'm here during the days, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. Call first to make sure. Just give me a call on the phone, send me an email. I am very responsive to emails.
We'll link all of those in our show
Yeah.
notes.
Not as much phone calls because we have a very busy phone typically, but emails I'm very responsive to. Our community has been amazing with providing donations in food and toiletries especially. We always have an Amazon wish list. We post quarterly wish lists. We have groups that come in and prepare food for the kids. That is something our kids love the most, and I wish we could have more of that. Home-cooked meals, right?
Yeah.
Community.
We have our, JustServe does 2 a month. Every other Thursday, I believe, somebody from the community from JustServe brings in dinner.
That's awesome.
So especially for the Hope Center, we would love to have more community involvement in coming in and cooking for the kids.
Oh, that's great.
Nothing like a real home-cooked meal. We do our best. Staff does their best, but
Totally.
it's never the same.
Totally.
And so that's always a really fun thing the community likes to do. We've had small families come in and make dinner. As long as they realize the expectation isn't that they're going to sit around the table and eat with the kids. The kids still have social anxiety. They still don't know the families. They don't want, this isn't a zoo or a pet store where we come look at the puppies, right? Totally. So come in and prepare the meal, serve if they want, but always know that they may not be interacting with the kids. And that's usually, and it's always the kids' choice. If they don't want to interact, they do not have to.
Oh, sorry. Can I just
we
say,
do not push them.
I love that you empower them with choice.
Absolutely.
Like, that's another thing that the older I get, the more I realize just how important that power of choice is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you said that.
Yeah.
Julia, how can we connect with you
and
everything you're doing and cheer you on?
Well, thank you. So my nonprofit, Our Closet, is on JustServe as well. And I've actually just received so many clothing donations from people in the community and monetary donations from businesses, which has been amazing. And so I'm just looking for the teens that are in need of clothing and shoes. And I'm just bringing by boxes of clothes to different charities. And I've come here a couple times and anything that doesn't work, I'm like, I know my friend's place has a thrift store. I'm like, take it to the thrift store.
Oh, what's the name of your thrift store?
The Sales Outlet.
Yeah.
SAILS. It's down on Fruitland.
Yes,
Awesome. We'll
by
get
the
that in
train
show notes,
tracks,
too. Awesome.
right?
I love that.
By the
Sorry.
train track.
Yes,
Yeah.
I went in there once and took a little
good.
tour. I can't remember. Were you with me? Anyways, it was a while ago.
But you guys have a long history. I love it. I love it. I totally interrupted you too. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Continue.
But yeah, just word of mouth, honestly, spreading the word. And I just as far as long-term goals go with my nonprofit, Our Closet, I'm still trying to figure out the logistics because I am going to be in Utah getting my master's the next 2 years.
So exciting.
I'm really excited.
So excited.
So I don't know exactly what it'll look like yet, but yeah, still taking donations, and I'm just trying to find who needs them and
I love that.
taking them where they go. And hopefully there will be more pop-up events in the community too that I can put on. So
Is there anything that we haven't talked about yet that you would like to? The time is yours. I think we've had a pretty great
I think we've
conversation.
talked about a lot.
I know.
Awesome. And if we end this conversation and it pops in, we'll put it in the show notes because this time is yours.
Let's just all celebrate Julia running for Miss Washington.
Thank you. In July.
That's so nice.
In
In
July.
July.
Where is that?
Awesome.
What was that?
Is it Olympia?
It's in Olympia.
Oh,
So
I
exciting.
love Olympia.
I know. It's great.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. So the winner of Miss Washington competes at Miss America end of August. End of August.
Oh,
so
no time at all.
no time at all, which is insane. And that competition is in Florida.
Oh my
So,
gosh. That's on TV, right?
Yeah.
So we can watch.
Yes,
Oh my
that's on
gosh.
TV. Well, assuming. Who knows?
We'll be cheering.
Who
We'll be
knows what'll
cheering.
happen? I'm
We're
like,
totally cheering on.
oh, well,
Yes.
thank
Totally
you.
cheering on.
Thank you. I'm really excited. So
You should be.
it'll be good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Your mom and sisters have got to be geeking out a little bit. Are they loving it?
Oh, I think they love it. Yeah. They see the behind the scenes. Like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears as well, because it's been a unique year of my life to live at home, come back after having lived on my own for a little bit, come back home, and it's been a lot of work and a lot of but it's been good too. I think they're really excited, and it's a full circle moment since we grew up watching the pageants together, and me and my sisters. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
And one day your daughter will be in.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, we'll see.
Better come back and tell us about it. I'm excited.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, ladies, thank you so much for having this conversation with us today. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've learned a lot, and I just really appreciate you both taking the time. On the bridge, we talk a lot about building relationships and connecting together, and you two are living that out by providing something that seems so simple when life is going easy: a safe place to sleep, a warm meal, clean clothes, or someone willing to say you matter and have value, just like you guys talked about earlier. Thank you both for sharing your hearts, your mission, and your dedication to helping the vulnerable youth across Tri-Cities, and we thank you for being here with us today. We're going to link everything we talked about in the show notes so people can connect with you easily. And also just shout out again to My Friend's Place. They are always in need of food donations, personal hygiene donations, and as we can all understand in this economy, some of those shelves are getting a little bare. So anything is welcome. And just thank you.
Thank
and
you
as
for
always,
having us.
join
Thank
us
you
on
so much.
JustServe.org as well. So, but yeah, you guys are the best. Thank
Oh,
you.
this was so great. Thank you for having us.
Awesome, thanks.